This video was brought to you by Donna's Door and Window, serving the Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda areas. This is the WISE Model 8800 door machine. Just a few moments we're going to be looking at how to set this machine up for work, to drill and set up doors. With a trained operator, this machine takes the back-breaking work out of preparing doors for installation. What it would take a normal man 45 minutes to prepare a door, this machine can prepare one door in under 5 minutes.
It's dropped down, it's controlled by air, and once all the air's out of the system, you need to get that back up, so you hit the unclamp button and just watch it when I hit it. It's going to reset itself back there, it should. On the right hand. Or the left hand.
So we're going to do a left-handed door first.
Yeah, and remember it says on here top. That means the top of the door for right hand goes to the left, top of the door for left hand goes to the right. So and the hinge side goes towards where you're working. Because the door locks are done on this half, hinges on that half. Right. Put it in there about like that. Make sure it's past here. See this, because it's going to drop down. Push it in there. Left hand. This is for your deadbolt or your standard or deadbolt. I always leave it off on my first run because on an interior door you don't use a deadbolt. So if you're gonna run a deadbolt, you got to run it twice. With hinge route, as long as you're doing hinges that match the jam you're putting in the machine, then you can have it on auto. Otherwise, if you're doing a custom job matching someone else's jam, you have to leave it on off and then do each hinge at a time. Didn't I show you that one time?
Yeah, set them.
Yeah, set them and do one hinge at a time. You have it on off, then you cycle the machine through. Make sure you line up. You get your marks for your hinges. Line them up with the marks on the machine there. Remember I told you that?
Yeah,
but
move these
for today,
We're doing a 4 9/16 jam.
Great.
Okay, the bottom, that's the bottom.
There's right hands and left hands.
And this is a
We're
left
doing
hand.
everything down on that end. So you're going to put the top of your doors down there, the top of your jam goes down there too. Same thing. This top rails for your door lock so it faces that way.
To the left, towards the machine.
The top of the jam with the top of the door, and on this rail it's always facing that way.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it was the right hand, the top of the jam will be over on this side. But the white's always on this side for the door locks.
Okay.
So you slide that, and there's no other jams for the other side.
So we're getting the jam for the other side now. You can see the door is in the machine, and it's a left-handed door.
And remember the difference in the top has a big notch, the bottom has an angle notch for your thresholds. This one, of course, goes in this way, because your routers cut all your hinges on this side. Okay?
So that's the right-hand jam. That's the right jam.
Yeah, this is the hinge jam.
The hinge end and the...
So, yeah, this jam would actually be up here and this one would be down here. Because they have to be turned around. The top would be down there. You turn this one and put it around, the back would be facing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This part right here always goes down.
Yeah, it has to. Exactly. That's where this half-inch offset is in here, see it? See the half-inch offset right there? And that's what these screws are for. If you're running interior doors, you run these in for flat jams. And it makes up that half-inch difference and hold it flat. That's what those screws are for. They're for doing interior doors with flat jams. This stuff here, well, that's a fat one, but the thin ones.
Right.
No, it holds it against this edge and the bolt. It doesn't hold it against here because there's stops on the back that are going to push this against there. Okay, then once you get your door in the machine, your auto positioning button,
Okay.
if it's on left, it's going to go to the right.
So
It
it's taking the
automatically
jam.
sets the door where you want it. That's it. Now,
It actually pulled the door into the machine now.
over here, this is where you're going to set your jam. Look, there was a button here that the top of it's missing. See it? Push that and it brings that up. This is for your exterior doors. There's 3 settings on here. Exterior, interior. That's all you need to worry. The big one you don't use. Bring it to the notch.
Exterior.
And the only other thing I can tell you on this, if the setting gets off, from this edge of the door to the top edge of the jam should be 7/8 of an inch. Because your jam's 3/4, you're going to have 3/4 above it, and you want an 1/8 inch gap for your. Because this side, there's a missing bolt. Maybe one of you guys can get a bolt for this thing. This one's not working. Look, it stops. We need a bolt over here.
Okay.
And someone had put this in there, but it's not the right bolt. It's a special bolt, so we need to get that and get that reset. For the time being, you could do the auto positioning, get the door set, and then bring your jam 7/8 past there instead of using this, because this isn't going to work right now. Now on your top jam, this is for 8-foot doors, this is for 6/8. Bring it in, same thing, it's the middle side, it's got 3 settings. It's the middle setting for exterior doors. And it goes to the notch again. See it?
Okay.
Same thing. The middle one is for the exterior. The one that's always
The flat
tight.
one, yeah, is for the interiors.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. Don't mess with these. They're,
No,
they're
they're already set.
Yeah. Okay. The next thing is,
Auto positioning. Went to that spot. Okay. then
so now your jams are positioned and your door's positioned.
Yeah.
Now you got to make sure it's going to cut 4-inch hinges. For an exterior door, you're using 4-inch hinges. It's got to be set on, this is 4 or 4.5. That's what that says up there.
Yeah.
You got to be on 4 or 4.5. This is for interiors over here.
Right.
See the off, where it says off, this stays off. It's only used for changing hinge size. Hinge width spacers. 3.5 red. If these are flipped up, you're doing 3.5s. If the yellows are up, you're doing 4s.
Right.
The way you get this yellow one up is with that button right there. You turn it back off when you're done. Now it's on 4.5s. So in order to switch, you can get this side up, no problem. But the other side, look, we're doing 4s. Even if you happen to leave this on accidentally, when the machine runs, it's going to automatically reset it anyhow, but you should leave it off.
Keep it all back this way.
Yeah. Now, then you want to go through these buttons basically and see what you're going to do. Your mortise, your edge of your door, that's for your lock. Lock board says core through. It's a 2 1/8 hole through the door. Latch and strike. Drill into the side. Someone wrote that on there, into the side. Back set, 2 3/8. That's what she uses here. I mean, a commercial door may use that from time to time, but not likely. Door size, 6'8", 7 foot on this one. If you're doing 8-footers, you got to switch these over. An 8-foot door.
Both of these got to be
Yep.
switched to 8-foot
Yeah,
door.
like that and like that. It's going to spread the routers differently. It's going to move the lock positioning thing differently to prepare. And plus, you're going to have to change this upper jam to this. The hinge jam will stay, but the upper jam, your 8-foot doors finisher here. But don't even worry about 8-foot doors right now unless she has one over there, I guess.
Okay.
So once you're sure all these buttons are exactly what you want, we're going to have it on auto. you're basically ready to go. As long as everything checks out, check, make sure it's at your stop.
Check to make sure it's at the stop.
The doors, this stop will come down on top of the door and it'll be offset. Just make sure your stop's in the right place.
Make sure this is here.
Button against the edge of the door, not on top of it. Okay. Got your clamp in place. Okay. Last thing, what is it? Push the yellow button.
Safety glasses?
Yeah. Push it. Now come on around here quick. See the cradle moved in? It didn't lock though. Now you gotta push it, watch. While it's in the machine before you unlock it.
So the hinges are drilled.
What it does is it gives you some tension so that it locks them in tight to your mortises. This is made to put them on while it's in the machine. But we're not done because we got to put a deadbolt in this. So, okay,
yeah.
Yeah, this full cut, it's a deadbolt, right?
Yeah, and it's this color.
Yeah, nickel. So you want to get the nickel screws.
You're going to put it on while it's in here.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them. Look, it's sprung a little bit, but it holds it tight just like that. Your pins to the top. You can always switch it if you have to, but put your pins to the top. So, now we're going to go ahead and run the deadbolt next, but you got to remember now, you unclamp the machine. See all the clamps in place? Holding this, and the door's can't move, it's clamped down. When you unclamp, hold this in for a long count to let it blow the chips away. Listen. Hear it?
It's blowing the chips out.
The chips away. Now, what you have to do, we're done with the hinges, right? We'll turn that off. We need a deadbolt, so we'll turn that on. You can't turn it on until it's unclamped because everything's got to shift. And then just push your door back just a hair, and then reset this.
So now it's pushing the door back into the machine now. You can see it right here.
That cradle is 5.5 inches for a deadbolt. All this is going to stay on if you want all the same stuff. You want the hole through there, the hole through the side, and the router. What you do, the deadbolt's on, hinges are off. Even if you accidentally left the hinges on, it's still lined up. It's probably going to just recut them. It's not going to really go any deeper. It should go, just retrace the pattern unless it moves a hair, and this thing is still alright. So, as long as the door is reset, this jam is still set because it's got a manual thing. It's going to drill this jam too. So again, we're going to hit the cycle and we're going to run around and look at it and see what it's doing. Yeah, you may have to push it.
We go and we're checking to see what it's doing.
Once this thing is used, after a while it'll start going. Now this here and here, you don't want to go touch near that drill or this belt. There we go.
So we're just
now look
pushing
at the top,
it in.
doing the jam. Drill, drill. That's the edge bore. Now the routers will drop down. A lot easier doing it by hand, right?
Yeah, right?
Well, better, ain't it?
Yeah.
So now we're done. You put the hinges on.
Okay.
If we were doing an outswing though, you would have had to pre-cut your jam to 80 and 5/8, but we're doing an in-swing, so we're set.
Okay.
So you can see the door lock has been cut, the hinges have been cut, and now we're going to put the hinges in the door. So we're going to put the hinges on in the door, in the machine.
I put the hinges here.
Okay. Yeah, it's sitting upside down right now. It's got the angle cover there. Look, I think it's too short. Ready?
Yeah. So what are we doing next now? We're unclamping the door.
This is when you finally use the eject button.
Okay. It brings the door out of the machine. Now we pulled out the other piece of the jam.
Then you cut your header, your threshold, weather stripping. You guys know all that, right?
Yeah, I know all that deal.
So we're doing another left-handed door.
No, this is a right-handed.
Right-handed door now. We're gonna do.
Top of the door goes to the left.
Top of the door goes to the left.
Up on top of this thing. There you go. You're in. That's good there.
Where's that thing at?
It's
already up.
Here, look, this one's way back here now because we're on right hand. So left hand we switch it. It should. We're gonna switch to right hand.
Right.
Now,
So it's switching to the right hand door now.
Just look it over and see what you would do next.
Okay.
I already put it on right hand, but go through the buttons one at a time. What did I tell you next? When you're starting doors, you want the deadbolt off. We don't. We're not putting any jams in here. We're going to use the jam cutter over there, so we're not doing jams, just the door. So we got the route hinges in here. Put the hinge route on auto. You're done there. Move down to the next station.
Okay.
Everything's the same there. We're not changing anything, but just go through them.
I'm going to go hinge size. I'm going to be on exterior door. I'm going to be on 4, 4
Yeah.
and a half.
4, 4.5 exterior door.
That's right.
Interior
3.5 for interior.
Lock strike.
If it says mortise under there, that means it's the router.
Yeah, so make sure that's the
On,
one.
yeah.
Keep that on. The latch and strike mortise on.
Lock doors on. Manual shift off.
That's right. It says it right there. There's a cheat note there for you.
Make sure it's off. Latch and strike. Put that on. That does the.
When you're doing your door locks, these are your 3 door lock buttons basically here. And this is your back. So you can say all 4 of these are.
Yeah.
This is your door locks right here.
Make sure this is on.
Someone actually, I never even noticed that. Someone put a square around there. See it?
Yeah.
And then the door size 6/8.
Yeah. Which same thing. Everything we're staying the same.
Everything's staying
Okay.
the
So
same.
what do you do next? It's another button.
Unclamp it?
No.
It's already unclamped.
That you do only when you first start the machine or if you're finishing a run. There you go. Got it going. So it's easy. Go to this one first. Check the swing of your door. Deadbolt should be off. Hinge route depending on if you're doing hinges, if you're doing a custom job, or if you're running jams with the door, you want it on auto. Those are your 3 buttons. Once you're done, move to this side. Just go row by row. And then when you're done, the green button's staring you right in the face. That's what you're going to hit first. If you come down here and look, see your stop, same thing. There's a line actually drawn on here too.
There's a line on the machine.
So you're ready basically.
Good to go.
There's everything we did. We're going to ride our hinges on the side. We're at 4 inches. Deadbolts off.
Yeah, we're not going to do the deadbolt first.
No, you do it second. So go ahead and push the cycle. You might have to run around the machine because that was a may lock it this time. Nope.
So it didn't lock in. So we managed. Now it's going to engage.
Yeah, that's all right. You're fine. That's it. Yeah,
We hit unclamp now.
Just the hair. Back it off from the stop so it doesn't get caught. Yeah, now
Back it off a hair.
reposition the door. Reposition.
Reposition, okay.
Now
Put your
reposition the
deadbolt
door.
on. You're going to do a deadbolt now.
Now we're putting the deadbolt on.
See it shift?
The whole machine is shifting
5.5 inches up the door.
for the deadbolt.
Now you're ready. Full cycle.
Press on clamp.
Yeah. You gotta catch it as it comes out.
And make sure you stand out of the way.
Jack, this is on the green button. So hit it and run around there and grab it. It's not gonna come that fast. There you go. Okay, just leave that there.
There's a vacuum button to keep everything
Another thing
clean
that would
on
be
the
really
other side.
helpful if she ever had time would be to drop a damn light over here, so you got a lot more light on this area.
Yeah.
It would make a big difference. You need a light like right up here. Help a lot because it's just really ugly here. That's 7/8. Okay.
So now we're measuring, we had to measure the hinges manually on this one because the door was pre-cut with another machine. So we put the jam into the machine and we have to use a door that can be wasted, or a dummy door, just to put it in there, because otherwise the machine will cut into the into the door that we want, and we don't want it to cut more than we need, so we're just going to put a dummy door.
Is to put an old door in like this. I want to try and catch them all. There we go. Okay. See where the edge of these black lines on here are roughly where the router bit cuts. Someone put some marks on there. That might be it there. I have never used the marks, but what you do, you want to gauge where the routers are cutting right now. So I'm just going to turn this off. The door, the lock's off. We're trying to see where this machine's cutting, that's all right now. And this thing isn't even going. There, see all the spots, the 3 spots that cut? Okay, what I suggest is to hold the door like this, unclamp. Now put your jam in there.
We're putting the jam in now.
Okay, slide it down until the first set of marks is going to hit that mark there. So it's in line with this. Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to do it.
So we're lining up where the door hinges were cut. We're lining that up with the jam to tell us where the routers are.
Now what you have to do, when you're doing custom doors, you want your hinge route off. What we're going to do is we're going to get the machine to lock in. That's all we're trying to do right at the moment. Okay, it's locked in. Make sure it's still right. Looks pretty good? Okay, now look, this one cut over here, but look where our marks are. And the same thing here. So what you have to do, you don't want these routers, any of these three routers, to engage into the stock. That's what this valve's for here. See the valve? Turn it perpendicular to
Turning off the air?
That's turning off the air to these three routers. We're only cutting with this one router. The routers will still all come on, but they're not going to engage into the stock. Only that one will.
So
Push
you gotta do
each one. Yeah, unless, and now to do your hinge, here's what you do. You're going to hit manual. Rise back and forth for the stops. That's what gives you your 4-inch. So now you're going to unclamp and hold this steady again. Go ahead and unclamp. Now we're going to move this to the next position. Line that one up. Where do you need to go? Back to
Back to me a little bit.
Okay, again, this has to be off. Push your cycle. We'll go ahead and get it. Push it. Push cycle.
Cycle?
Yeah. All it's going to do is clamp things down.
Okay.
Do that and gather your composure for a minute. Say, okay, I'm working on this hinge. I got to turn this router off. Turn this one on. And if, as long as it's lined up, you're going to cut that one next. Manual. Hit it.
Doing the last hinge now, we just shift the cam down to the same router.
Okay. Cycle. As long as that looks good, which I guess the marks may be off. What do you think? Yeah, I think it needs to go down that way a little bit. Let's see where that one's at. Yeah, let's just shift it down a hair or so. Unclamp, go this way. Unclamp. Oh, wait. Cycle. Okay. That looks better. And everything's the same here, so just do your manual hinge route. Get the jam out of there, get the door out of there. It's always got to come out this end because of these springs.
Got to come out.
Yeah. Okay. Put it back over there with the old doors. Now we're going to run the locks on this 8-footer. Either side of the same. You don't have to look at this one because you already know, unless they screwed up.
Yeah, right.
Change all that stuff to 8-foot up there. Put the door locks on. Yeah, those 2 buttons at the bottom. Option.
To the top.
Yeah. Another one to 8-foot. All your door lock buttons on. The 3.
Latch
on. That one stays on. We're not, you got to make sure the hinges are off and then start with no deadbolt always, just a good habit to stay in.
Okay.
Now auto position your door. Over here. Auto position it. Let's see if it works. Yeah. It's setting it to the same line as dip 6/8. The one thing that I'm a little bit skeptical about when I'm changing from a 6/8 to an 8 foot is where it's going to throw my door locks. So you want to come over here and get a visual on this before you run it. Where's that tape measure at? 5 inches up from the bottom of the door. So what I do, we're on standard bore. That's the first one's a standard bore. Should be at 35. So let's just make sure we're at roughly 35. And we're pretty close, so that should be good. See, it's not an exact science. As long as it's within like a ½ inch or something, you can tell. If something's wrong, it might be a foot up that way, and you know something's up. Yeah. And when you're doing an 8-foot door, you're going to measure from the bottom, because normally we measure down from the top on a 6/8 door. Yeah, it's 38 and a half, 44 on the deadbolt and standard bore, but on an 8-footer, I don't know what it is because I never run them, so I just ballpark it from the bottom. So, okay, we're ready to roll. Deadbolt's off, hinges have to be off, all of our door stuff's on, so you can hit the cycle button. We're already clamped in. Cycle? Yep. Didn't pop. Oh, there it went. Side. Yeah, I forgot to put the lock side in there. Now remember, look, you got your router shut off, so the next time you come back, you're going to wonder why it's not cutting, and you're going to see these things. Yeah,
make sure to put everything back the way it was when we started.
Remember, if you're doing a custom job,
you got to do
one hinge at a time. Sometimes people will bring in doors, like they're getting rid of their flat panel interiors and want to change them out with 6 panels. So they'll bring them all in, and you have to transfer their hinge pattern from their door onto the new doors and stick them in here. Of course, they're interior, so they're 3.5. But when you're running interior doors, it's like I said, there's a whole bunch of other settings that you have to change. I really don't want to confuse you and get into it now.
Let me try to get this.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of other settings, and when you do interiors, you got to add this in there. See, it says interior only. These have to be pushed in like this. These have to be run in. Your hinges have to be changed here. It's a number of things. That's what I'm saying. Plus, this rail has to come on top of here to make up the difference in thickness between an exterior and interior door. Yeah. This is the difference right there. It's 3/8 of an inch. From 1 3/8 to 1 3/4. So there's a lot. Like I said, it's not. I don't want to confuse you with it all now. Just try it. She's mostly running exterior, so in the meantime, try to find a bolt for this thing, and then we'll get this so it's set once and for all. You push that in and get it adjusted where you want, tighten it down, and make sure it's 7/8. This goes through your notch, but make sure the end of the jam is 7/8 past that line right there. Yeah. It's going to be from 7/8 from there to, well, actually that's the notch, so the jam's going to pass about there. You got to go to the end of the jam to there is 7/8, not from the notch. Right. The end of the jam.
End of.
Now we're back today. We're going to do an interior door, and we're going to go through the settings.
Don't need that bolt.
Yeah, I know. We'll need that bolt from last time. This is the bolt that we were talking about. But we'll make it work.
Exterior to interior on this. Deadbolt has to be off on interiors always, because you don't have a deadbolt on interior. So now, settings. First of all is the bar down here. Then your hinges have to be 3.5. There. And down here, red, 3.5. The red spacers.
And the machine moves over.
That's the shift button.
Right. And then the red tabs there, right?
Go in for the jam. This is a strike side jam. This hooks on, basically centered over that opening. Now, the other thing is, these, you spin them in for flat jam or split jam.
And they go all the way in until you hit
They make up the half-inch difference in this offset here. If you look around the side there, see that little half-inch offset?
Yeah.
They come out and they make that up. That's what they're doing. Interior, the small setting. Same thing up here, you gotta change it. You gotta spin this wheel. Interior. And the other side, since we're doing rights and lefts, that one we're not gonna bother with, but let me make sure I didn't forget anything.
Always good to double check. And hinge size, don't we have to change hinge size too, or?
I already changed it up here.
Okay.
It's 3.5 there, 4 and 4.5 there.
Right.
Now, look at the edge of the door. See the bevel?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The bevel always goes up just like I have it. The bevel goes up.
Okay. This is a interior what size?
1/6, I think.
1/6, okay.
Not all these interior doors come beveled, so if it doesn't come beveled, I would still look on the top to see if it says, you know, hinge side or whatever.
Okay.
So
just positioning it in the machine now.
You're doing the right thing on this one, yeah. There.
Yeah, so the jam is in the
Nice
machine.
and flat. The
That's
stops
the
will
hinge
come out
side.
from the back and lock it in.
That's the hinge side we just put in, right?
First of all, I want to flip it.
It's pulling the door in now. This is going to be a right-hand door, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said this is the only that's on that end of the machine, so your finished stock is on that side of the machine. These you set to the notch too. You don't set them to the end when you're. I'll just show you on this one, even though it's not right. Goes to the notch.
Okay.
What we're going to do here is we're just going to, whatever gap you want on this, you just eyeball it right there.
With the bottom of the door, or the top of the door.
A good 1/8 to 3/16 right there.
Okay.
Past the edge of the door.
Okay.
So.
And what's the purpose of doing that?
Of what?
What's the purpose of
to
having
leave
it go
a gap at the top of your door when it's swinging into your jam. You want to have an even space all the way around the three sides. Okay, we should be ready to roll here. Notch here and a 3/8 notch on the other side, and then the rest of it's divided up between your gap.
So the top of the header is always going to be 15/16
yeah, and
longer.
She has a bunch of pre-made ones down
right,
here. You can
right.
use them as a reference.
And that is the WISE Model 8800. And remember, when you start the machine, first turn on the air breaker for the air compressor. Make sure your circuit breaker is on, off, on. Now to turn the machine on itself, we pull out the emergency stop, and then we turn the start key. And remember to bleed out any air that might be in the system. Now you're ready to go. This video was brought to you by Donna's Door and Window, serving the Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda areas.